Welcome everyone to the first of many videos where I'm going to go over how to download specific software tools, how to write syntax, and in general, going over concepts. Today we are going to be going over Tableau and how to get this thing downloaded to your computer, how it fits into the ETL pipeline, and some general concepts of Tableau. This is going to be a super shallow overview. We are not going to get into anything too specific today. Mostly we are going to be focusing on the download. So within the description of this video, you should see a link to tableau.com/product/public/download. It's going to lead you to this download page where you are able to download Tableau Public Desktop. And essentially, this is like the VS Code of generating visualizations. Now, you're going to see a button that says Download Tableau Public. You're going to go ahead and click on that, and you will be prompted to create some account information or input some account information. So go ahead and do that, and then go ahead and click on download the app, and the download should start immediately. Now the process to download is quite simple. All you have to do is check some boxes agreeing that you will not profit off of Tableau, and you should be good to go. And once you get Tableau downloaded, and then you open Tableau up, you should see the following window. It's very Microsoft Excel, very Microsoft Docs-like. As you can see, we have some options to connect specific files to our Tableau interface. In the middle, we'll see our previous Tableau projects. If you've just downloaded Tableau, you should see nothing. And on the right, you'll actually be able to discover some tutorial videos if you'd like to dive even deeper into Tableau. For today, we are going to work with the Excel file called Pivot Year. And that is the Excel file that describes the rent changes from the year 2021 to 2021 in the United States. In order to connect this CSV file, and also be posting a link to that CSV file in the description of the video, in order to get this CSV file linked to your Tableau interface, you're going to go ahead and click on Text File right over here. In fact, just for better visibility, it's going to be on the left-hand side underneath Microsoft Excel labeled Text File. As you can see, we have a whole bunch of different options in terms of what kind of data we are working with. Later on, we'll figure out how we can actually connect to a server, and that's when things get really interesting. But for now, we're just going to be using a regular old CSV file. So go ahead and click on Text File. And if you navigate over to the DS22 GitHub repository, Phase 2, Week 10, Data, you should actually find Pivot Year. Go ahead and select that, hit Open, and then we're going to give Tableau a couple of seconds to process. And as you can see, you get your CSV file loaded into this Tableau interface. We're going to go ahead and minimize this just so that we can see the rest of these columns. As you can see, Tableau did a pretty good job of taking all the data that we've been working with previously and importing it into this interface. Now, usually what would happen is we would leave this table alone and we would not do anything to it. We should not be doing data transformations within Tableau. That's just not the right context. That's going to be left to Pandas and SQL. However, sometimes what happens is Tableau does not interpret data correctly. And that's probably because of a mistake that we previously made or something that we did not account for. Specifically, we are going to focus on the FIPS corrected column. So this thing should be a string. And as you can see, it's currently expressed as an as an integer. This is 48,059. This really should be 48059. Think of this as like a zip code. Now, we could actually transform data in Tableau by clicking on the type inside of the columns. As you can see here, we have a hashtag or a pound sign that stands for number. We're going to go ahead and click on that. Whoops. We are going to click on that, select string, and that's going to take a second to process. Now, after we've converted that into a string, we are then going to go ahead and specify that this is a geographic county. So once again, it is sometimes necessary to make these transformations in Tableau. However, in an ideal pipeline, we should not be doing these kinds of things in Tableau. Now, let's go ahead and talk about the basic building blocks of Tableau. Tableau is made of three main components. We have worksheets. As you can see, it's actually directing me to create a worksheet. We have dashboards, and then finally, we have stories. all of these components we are able to create all of these components in the Tableau interface, and let's just quickly describe what these three components entail. So a worksheet is essentially a individual graph. Those are your bar charts, maps, so on and so forth. And let me just write this out for visibility. Pardon the handwriting. Worksheets are your individual graphs. Sometimes you can actually group graphs together in worksheets. However, you really should not be making more than 2 to 3 visualizations in one worksheet just because it gets too complex. Next, we have a dashboard. Now, a dashboard is simply a conglomeration of worksheets, or just a bunch of worksheets. Now, of course, these worksheets should be related to one another, and they should display some sort of data analysis or some conjoined data visualization. And then lastly, we have stories. Now, stories are like dashboards. In fact, they're basically the same exact thing as dashboards, except this time we are presenting our worksheets in some sort of specific order that tells a data story. For example, maybe we have one visualization for 2020, and then we show another visualization for 2021. And maybe we're trying to focus on something drastic that occurred between these 2 years. Well, a story is exactly what we are going to need. And we're going to be going over data stories within the week of phase 2, week 11 later on. So that's essentially all we need to download Tableau. In the next few videos, we're going to explore how we can create various graphs and then place them within dashboards until we finally get to generating stories. All right, see y'all.